Hey guys, it's me Sophie from Taylor of All Trades, the place for all things family and crafty. I've got another tutorial for you today. I'm hoping that you like it. I'm hoping that it's helpful. If you ever have any ideas for a tutorial you'd like me to make, go ahead and leave a comment down below, and if I'm able to, I'll get that video made for you ASAP. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you guys enjoy this tutorial as much as I enjoyed making it. So today's video is less of a tutorial and more of a tour. This video is long overdue. I think maybe like 3 years ago, my sister-in-law suggested that I do a tour of my crafting space, and I haven't gotten around to it until now. So this one's for you, Emmy. Finally getting around to it in the new house. So here we go. Hope you enjoy. This is a tour of my crafting space, which doubles as my bedroom. So let's take a look. So this is it. Welcome to my crafting space. The most important aspect of my crafting space, of course, is my desk, what I use to do all of my crafting on. On my desk, you will find a flexible tripod. I use this as I create my YouTube videos because I need it to hang over my shoulder and give a over the shoulder perspective with my videos. I'll make a little video on how to make YouTube videos using only your cell phone, and that's what I use, so I'll talk about it there. I also always have on my desk whatever projects I'm working on at the time. This was the Christmas wreath magnet that I just completed, but I've got to assemble the cards and the envelopes, so I'm keeping them on my desk for now. I also made these adorable Praying For You cards recently, and I just need to write in them and send them out. Finally, my last project that I'm working on that I need to get a move on with are our Christmas cards, which I am making this year. I did a tutorial for all 3 of these projects, actually, which you can find on my channel if you'd like to see how to make those. But I've got the supplies out on my desk right now for everything I will need to make 120 Christmas cards, and I've only made about 10, so I'd better get a move on. On my desk, I also have the 2 most important tools I use all the time, the Martha Stewart scoreboard and then my paper trimmer, the Recollections paper trimmer that I bought from Michaels. I've also got my little toolbox, which I've used basically ever since I've been a crafter, so it's about 10 years old, and I always keep the same stuff in it. I've got scissors, and I've got my Sweet Petunia stamping tool, Tim Holtz stamp blocks. I've got some epoxy stickers, deco foil, rulers. I've just got, this is what I, keep inside my little toolbox Versamark, and basically everything that I use on a consistent basis or a regular basis. Right next to that, I've got a little stacker with things I use frequently as well. I've got some gloves in case I'm doing a project that has me, working with a lot of paint and glue. I've got some envelopes, invitation envelopes, A2 envelopes, and then the card bases that I use, which again I take to FedEx, and I get cardstock cut down in half, and that's what it looks like. And then that way I always have card bases handy. All I have to do is score down the middle, and then they can very easily be turned into cards that look just like that. Let's see, right next to that I have got some small foam dots. These are the American Crafts foam dots. This is these dots are in sets of 5 because I had to cut down the sheets that they came on for a different project, but I keep them handy because I use them all the time. Down inside this little stacker, the first little cubby hole, I have got all of my scoring styluses, and I use these again all the time. They come with a different size knobs on the end, and you just use it with your scoreboard and it scores your projects for you. I've also got various different types of bone folders that I use for different reasons, but by far my favorite is my Martha Stewart bone folder, which came with the Martha Stewart scoreboard. It's my fave. I love it so much. Back in here I've also got these magnets. They're called rare earth magnets, and I buy them on Etsy. They are so strong. They work so well. In fact, they work so well that it's actually kind of hard to get them separated from each other, but I use this for things like magnet projects. They're a little bit more expensive, so I don't use them flippantly. I try to preserve what I have, but you can see how strong they are. They just wanted to latch right onto the metal on my scoring styluses. In the next cubby, I keep the other supplies that I use for my YouTube videos. Again, I will make a video explaining what these things are. I've got a little lens expander and then the clip that helps it to clip onto my cell phone. In this last cubby on the top here, this is where I keep all of my originals from when I went through my
hand lettering phase. I still do it. I still hand letter, but not nearly as much as I did when I went through that particular phase. But I keep all of the originals handy because I do hope someday to be able to turn them into digital files and then to just use them as sentiments on the insides of cards, or to make them the focal point of the exterior of cards just in general. So I have quite a few of them and more still that I want to do. I'm constantly learning about crafting, so I always, if something looks great, I try it and I learn it and I try to do it better the next time around. So that's why I keep those handy. In the next set of cubbies, I have got a cubby for pens. I've got Sharpies in there. I have got regular pens. I've got these amazing Micron pens. That's the best for paper crafting. And then in the next two cubbies, actually the next three, I have all of my adhesives that I use on a regular basis, pop dots and glue dots and double-sided tape. That's from Scrapbooking Made Simple's label. That's the double-sided tape that I use. And then down here, I don't know if you can see it in there. I really didn't want to move my boxes around, but I do have some regular types of tape like Scotch tape. I've even got some low adhesive tape so I can replace things or place and replace if I'm stamping or something like that. In this last box here, in this last cubby, I've got probably one of the most important things I use as a crafter, which are my templates for, so this is the Origami Box in a Box. And this tells me how big the pieces of paper have to be, where they have to be cut, and where they have to be scored. Same thing here for the belly bands, where they need to be cut and scored. This is for the 5-box project, which you can get 5 boxes from one sheet of 12 by 12 inch paper. And I have a video on that on my channel, so check it out. This is for the 2-inch box. This is the Origami box. So what I do is I just keep these templates handy. That way I don't have to rewatch YouTubes or relearn how to do something. I can just keep a template handy, and I keep it in a little cubby, and then I have it always. So that is my desk. Kind of cluttery right now, not my favorite for it to be kind of covered, but that's my desk. And right next to it I have 3 bins of things that I use all the time. This bin is my adhesives bin with all of my double-sided tape. The next bin is all of my paper punches, which I love. And then down on the bottom are all of my cello bags, because every time I make a craft that I'm either going to give to somebody or put in something, I want it protected. So let's go ahead and move on to my 2 amazing Calyxes full of crafting supplies. Calyxes come from IKEA. They are about $200. I had to save up all my pennies and nickels and dimes, but I knew it was what I wanted and what I needed. So let's start with the stuff on the top here. These bins right here, that bin, 2, 3, 4, all 4 of those bins have handmade crafts that I am eventually going to be putting on my Etsy shop so that I can be selling them. My Etsy shop is Wishing Flower Crafts. Right next to it, I've got some bins full of tulle and then some felt. I've got ribbon, and then down right here in the middle are my We Are Memory Keepers paper punches. I don't use them a ton. They've got like an envelope punch and a banner punch. I don't use them a ton, but when I am able to, I'm always thankful that I have them. Then, of course, as a paper crafter, I have 2 different types of paper cutting machines, my handy dandy rusty trusty Sizzix, and then I've got the Cricut. So right below the Sizzix here, I've got all of the platforms that I need to either cut or emboss, and then I've also got my little box full of wafer thin dies, or sizzlets and all of that. Then I've got a bin for just my Cricut stuff, and a little container organizer that my sister-in-law got me for all of my cartridges, because I have a ton of them. Then I've just got some miscellaneous tools that I don't use a ton, but I do need them, so I keep them handy. Now, in case you're wondering, these little tiny boxes here, for a very short amount of time, I tried to have my own business here on the mountain. There wasn't enough interest, but I taught crafting classes, and so those were for my students, so they could have their own, pens and scissors and all of that. Down below, let's start with what we've got in the Calyxes. This first cubby here has all of my 6x6 paper pads, and then all of my stationery card bases. Then I also keep in here my claspy type things, so my push pins and paper clips and all of that. Then I've got a cubby dedicated to different types of adhesives. I've got more pop dots. Those are from Walmart, so they're, to me, a little bit inferior quality, but they're cheap, so I kind of buy them. My glues are in there. Right next to it, I have got even more card bases, and then I've got some decoupage style boxes that I could decorate and give gifts in. Then I have got, because I love paper, I've got so many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8, technically 8 cubbies full of paper. This bin right here is all of my scraps. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be laughing, but every paper crafter knows you have a bin full of scraps. I use the scraps, so that's why I keep them. Down here below, I have got all of my Bibles and my daily breads, and they are free to anyone who wants them. I take them to crafting fairs if I go, or they go out in orders if I ever get any. And then these nifty little things, I just want to show them to you real quick because they're really fantastic. They are called Colorful Blessings or color cards, and what they come with is little blessing sentiments. I've also got a set for Proverbs and a set for the Psalms, and they come uncolored, so they are heavy duty cardstock, and they've got sentiments on there that you can color, and then you can either make them the focal point of the front of a card, or make them the sentiment on the inside of the card, or just gift them away to people, which is what I normally do because it's such a fantastic thing. I'm surprised I hadn't seen it before, but I absolutely love them. Just wanted to show you that really quickly because it's a great product. Let's see. In our next cubby, this is where I keep my stamping tools that I don't use a ton. So I've got the Stampin' Up! Rollers that a friend gave me, and then I've got a box full of like daubers and extra different types of inks for the rollers. So that's kind of where I keep that. Then these particular bins, this set of bins down along the bottom here, I think it's 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Those bins down there, this is me setting up for my Etsy shop, which again is called Wishing Flower Crafts. So I'll eventually be selling this stuff in my shop, and it's got, score tape and some stamping pads and stamping stamps and glue dots and all of that. Right up above it, I keep all of my embellishments. So I've got a ton of flower embellishments because I love them, and I love the mulberry paper embellishments, flowers to be specific. Next to those, I have got some more foam dots, and then different types of supplies that I've been collecting so I can sell in my Etsy shop. And then right up above it, I've got various adhesives. These Velcro dots are fantastic. I use them to close up projects just so that it's nice and neat and easy to get into. This is my little stash of E6000. I buy the little mini bottles because the big ones are always getting dried up on me. The next cubby here has all of my adhesive embellishments, and then right over here is my washi tape collection, which I love washi tape so much. This is where I keep my personal washi tape supply, and then I've also got things like oh goodness, the name just ran right out. Oh, sequins. That's right. Sequins for card making and stuff like that. Then I've also got a very small supply of crafting markers. So I've got a few Copics, some Sharpies and things like that. And then these last two cubbies, or not the last two, I have two other ones to show you. But this one, a friend gave me a bunch of Stampin' Up! Supplies because she was sort of out of her crafting phase of life. So those are my Stampin' Up! Little mini stamp pads. And then right underneath here, I just wanted to show you, I actually do have a pretty big collection. Give me just one second as I try to set these. It's not working. Hold on one second. I got to put these on my bed. Excuse me. So anyway, in here, this is where I keep my collection of refills for my inks. So I have a lot of Brilliance inks, some StazOn, and that's where I keep all of my refills in there for the different types of inks that I've bought along the way, because basically if I buy an ink pad, I buy the re-inker just so that I if I fall in love with it, which I usually do, I don't have to go looking around the internet to try to find the refills. This is my little bin full of glossy accents and stickles and my glitters and my embossing powders and my burnishing glitters. So this is sort of like the glitzy glamoury section of my crafting stash. And then this particular set of organizers holds predominantly all of my bottle caps. I literally buy them by the 1,000, and I'm not exaggerating. I buy them 1,000 at a time because I use them so often. These organizers are the Doris organizers, and they're wonderful. These are for all of my embellishments that I use to make things like bookmarks, and then all of my ribbons and butterflies. I have to have things organized, or I don't like to dig through things because I feel like it wastes time. So I just take time at the beginning and I organize and then I can keep things where I need them. So this is my crafting space. Ain't she a beaut? Like I said, I do share this space with my husband because it's our bedroom. But I love that I get to have a space for myself here in our home. I did have a larger space before my son was born, but now that's his room, and I'm not complaining. I just love where I get to craft, that I get to craft, and that I get to have so much by my side all the time. So I hope you enjoyed this little tour. Thanks so much.
Thanks so much for taking the time to watch my tutorial. If you enjoyed it, go ahead and click like and subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to check me out on Instagram at soph_improvement and check out my blog, tailorofalltrades.com. Until next time, my friends, bye.